The council chamber of Argith Prime was huge and cold. Tall black pillars stood around a long silver table. The air smelled of metal and dust. Bright lights from above cast sharp shadows across the alien faces sitting around the table. Their golden eyes and sharp jaws showed no kindness. Elias Varen, the human diplomat, sat quietly at the far end. His dark suit was neat, but his face was calm and serious. His brown eyes scanned the room, watching everything. He did not smile. The alien leaders sat in silence. On one side were the Veil Corps, tall, insect-like creatures with thin bodies and glowing green veins under their skin. Their leader, Overlord Xerac, clicked his mandibles together, a sign of boredom or impatience. On the other side were the Zrin Dominion, large, reptilian warriors covered in thick black scales. Their general, Cothair, leaned forward, his sharp teeth glinting in the light. Elias cleared his throat. His voice was steady. "We are gathered here to end the war between your two empires. Earth has offered its help as a neutral party. Peace can save billions of lives." Neither side spoke. The Veil Corps leader finally hissed, "Human, always talking about peace. Weak words from a weak species." Cothair grinned. His claws tapped the table slowly. "You speak of saving lives, Diplomat. But do you know how many we have crushed under our boots? We do not fear death or your peace." Elias did not react. His hands stayed folded on the table. His mind, however, was sharp and alert. He had expected hostility, but something else was wrong today. The usual guards were missing. The alien delegates had brought extra soldiers inside the chamber, far more than normal. Their weapons were not holstered. They were ready. From the corner of the room, a heavy door opened. A new figure entered, tall, draped in dark red armor, with a face hidden behind a bone-white mask. The figure walked slowly to the table and stood behind Cothair. Elias narrowed his eyes. Cothair's voice rumbled low. "Perhaps, human, you should know. The Zrin Dominion and Veil Corps have reached a private agreement. There is no need for human help anymore." Overlord Xerac gave a clicking laugh. "Yes, we have decided humans are too dangerous to be allowed into galactic politics. Your Earth thinks words can protect it. It is wrong." The masked figure pulled a small device from his belt and placed it on the table. It lit up, showing a hologram of Earth's defenses, human fleets, military bases, even cities. "We have sold your secrets, Elias Varen," Xerac said. "Your own people will be crushed soon. You will not leave this chamber alive." Elias sat still. His heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. Cothair rose from his seat and barked an order. Soldiers from both factions stepped forward, weapons drawn. Plasma rifles and energy blades hummed in their hands. The alien leaders smiled, expecting the human to beg or show fear. But Elias Varen slowly removed his translator earpiece and placed it in his pocket. His eyes turned cold, sharp as steel. He stood up without a word, straightening his jacket. His fingers moved quickly, pressing a hidden button on his belt. There was a faint hum. The seams of his suit shifted slightly, revealing a thin layer of dark combat weave underneath, armor far beyond alien tech. The nearest soldier stepped closer, raising his plasma blade. Elias moved faster than anyone expected. In one motion, he grabbed the soldier's wrist, twisted it hard. A crack echoed in the room, and pulled the alien's own blade free. Before the others could react, Elias flipped the blade into a reverse grip and drove it straight into the second soldier's chest. The alien collapsed with a scream. Gasps filled the chamber. Cothair roared in rage. "He is not a diplomat. He is a Terran operative." Elias didn't smile. His voice was quiet but strong. "You made one mistake. You forgot what humans are truly capable of." His other hand slid to his belt, pulling out a thin black device. He tapped it once. A burst of electromagnetic energy rippled out, short-circuiting every alien weapon in the room. Sparks flew, Plasma rifles died. Elias stepped forward, gripping the plasma blade tightly. "For Earth," he said softly. The chamber lights flickered as the electromagnetic pulse faded. Smoke curled from broken weapons. The alien soldiers staggered back, confused and angry. Their rifles were dead. Their blades sparked uselessly. Elias Varin stood tall, the plasma blade humming softly in his hand. His calm face had changed. It was now the face of a soldier, not a diplomat. His eyes were cold and sharp, like a man who had seen many battles before. Overlord Sirac screeched in fury. "Kill him. Tear him apart." Cather slammed his fist on the table and barked a command. His soldiers rushed forward, claws and teeth ready. Even unarmed, Zrin warriors were deadly in hand-to-hand combat. Elias moved like a shadow, fast, smooth. His training was clear now. This was no normal human. He ducked under the first swing, spun on his heel, and sliced through an alien's leg. The Veil Corps soldier collapsed, hissing in pain. Another tried to tackle Elias, but he sidestepped and elbowed the alien in the throat. The soldier dropped instantly. He did not waste energy. Every move was quick and deadly. Cather watched with growing rage. His claws gripped the edge of the table, breaking the metal. Who is he? How does a diplomat fight like a ghost? Sirac hissed sharply. "We were tricked. He is no simple envoy. He is Terran Black Shield." The name made even Cather pause. Legends of Earth's secret operatives, Black Shields, were whispered in dark corners of the galaxy. Ghost operatives, trained from birth, enhanced with cybernetics and gene editing, known for turning entire wars alone. Elias dispatched the last soldier with a clean strike. His breathing was calm, no sign of stress. His jacket was torn, showing more of the armored weave beneath. He looked at the two alien leaders. "You thought Earth only sent diplomats to the Council. You thought wrong." From his wrist, he tapped a small hidden console. A soft beep sounded. Far above the chamber, in orbit, a human stealth frigate, TSS Revenant, came to life. Hidden since his arrival, it now unlocked its weapon systems. But Elias was not calling for backup. Not yet. Cather growled and stepped over the bodies of his fallen men. His black scales shimmered under the lights. "You think one man can stop two empires, human?" Elias tilted his head slightly, studying him. "I'm not here to stop your empires. I'm here to finish my mission." He stepped closer, blade still ready. His voice stayed low and calm. 3 weeks ago, your forces destroyed a human colony, New Carthage. 50,000 civilians dead. You broke the treaty first. Earth sent me to confirm it. Now, I have proof and authority to respond. Sirac's mandibles twitched nervously. You cannot threaten us alone." Elias's lips pressed into a thin line. "I'm not threatening you. I'm delivering justice." Behind him, one of the wounded alien soldiers tried to crawl away, reaching for a backup weapon. Elias didn't even turn. His foot shot back, crushing the alien's hand, forcing a sharp cry of pain. His focus stayed on the leaders. Cather roared and finally lunged forward, claws wide. Elias sidestepped cleanly and, in one smooth motion, stabbed the plasma blade into Cather's side. The large reptilian staggered, snarling, but did not fall. His thick armor had taken most of the blow. He swung wildly. Elias ducked and rolled across the floor, landing lightly on his feet. He dropped the plasma blade, then slid a small thin rod from his boot. With a flick, it extended into a long monomolecular whip, its dark strands humming softly. Human tech, illegal in most of the galaxy. Cather's eyes widened, recognizing the weapon too late. Elias lashed it forward. The whip sliced through Cather's left arm. The limb dropped with a wet thud. The warlord fell to one knee, roaring in agony. Sirac, trembling, backed away toward the door. His claws tapped on his wrist console, calling for reinforcements. "No," This is not possible. Humans are weak. Elias turned toward him, his voice like ice. You underestimated us. You always did. He tapped his wrist device again. The stealth frigate above locked onto targets across the station. Silent alarms began to blare. Elias stepped over Koth there, who was gasping on the floor. You betrayed Earth. You murdered civilians. I was sent to stop a war. Now, I will start one. Sirac bolted out the door in panic. Elias didn't chase. He activated his wrist comms. This is Operative Varen to Revenant. Execute Protocol Eclipse. Burn all data. No witnesses. The ship confirmed with a soft tone. Elias looked around the ruined council chamber. His mission had changed. He was no longer here for diplomacy. He was here for war. Far above Argith Prime, hidden behind the thick clouds of the gas giant, the human stealth frigate TSS Revenant came alive. Black and sharp like a blade, its hull shimmered as cloaking fields dropped. Engines purred low as the ship turned its guns toward the alien station below. Inside the station, alarms screamed. Red lights flashed across long silver corridors. Panicked alien officers ran between control rooms. Defense systems blinked online, but confusion spread fast. No one expected a human warship to be this close. In the council chamber, Elias Varen calmly sheathed the monomolecular whip back into his boot. His dark suit was torn, and streaks of alien blood marked his sleeves, but his face stayed cold and focused. He checked his wrist console. The Revenant had locked all key targets, defense grids, comm towers, and power cores. He had less than 10 minutes before full alien reinforcements arrived. He tapped into the Revenant's comms. Revenant, suppress comm relays. No escape signals. Begin limited strike on hangars and armories. I'm moving to the data vault. Confirmed. Operative, the ship's AI replied smoothly. Suddenly, explosions rocked the distant parts of the station. Through the wide chamber windows, bright flashes lit up the darkness as hangars burst apart in flames. Alien fighters shattered like toys under precise orbital bombardment. Elias turned, picked up the plasma blade again, and moved swiftly toward the nearest corridor. His boots echoed on the metal floor as he advanced. 5 decks above, Sirac stumbled into a comms control room. Blood dripped from small cuts on his arms. His mandibles clicked fast in fear. We are under attack. He shouted to his officers. Get reinforcements here now. I want warships to blockade Earth before sunrise. The Valcor officers hurried to activate deep space comm arrays, but before they could transmit, their screens turned black. A quiet message blinked. Signal jammed. Revenant link active. Sirac hissed in disbelief. No, no. From the far end of the control room, the air vent cover fell to the ground with a clang. Elias dropped down from the ceiling, landing like a shadow. His plasma blade ignited in his hand. Sirac's guard spun, but it was too late. Elias swept low, cutting 2 down in 1 strike. A third lunged at him with a clawed hand, but Elias sidestepped and drove the blade into the alien's chest. The officer fell without a sound. Sirac backed against the wall, his golden eyes wide, body trembling. Stop, stop. We can make a deal. Your Earth can rule beside us. Elias's face showed no emotion. You had your chance. He flicked his wrist. A small dart launcher extended from his sleeve. With a soft hiss, a needle shot forward, embedding into Sirac's throat. The Overlord collapsed, convulsing. His breathing slowed. His mandibles twitched once, then froze. Elias stepped past the body and accessed the main terminal. His fingers moved quickly across the alien interface. He downloaded encrypted data, proof of the betrayal, war crimes, and secret military plans. His mission was almost complete. He tapped his comm again. Revenant, data secured. Prepare exfiltration point. Uploading coordinates. As he finished, the door to the control room burst open. 10 heavily armored Zrin soldiers stormed in, roaring with rage. Their exosuits glowed red, designed for elite shock troopers. Elias's jaw tightened. Without wasting a second, he threw a small disc toward the floor. A flashbang exploded. White light and concussive force shook the room. Aliens staggered, disoriented. Elias dashed forward, low and fast. He slid under one soldier's arm, slashed the back of his knee, and rolled back onto his feet. His plasma blade cut through another trooper's power pack, causing sparks to shower down. But the numbers were too many. 2 soldiers closed in, striking together. One heavy fist caught Elias's shoulder, sending him crashing into the console. Pain shot through his ribs. He gasped, but forced himself back up. The soldiers advanced, growling deep. Elias's fingers twitched toward his belt. He pressed a hidden switch. Click. The Revenant's AI voice echoed softly in his ear. Tactical drones deployed. From the shattered window above, 3 small black drones zipped into the room. Sleek and silent, they fired thin laser beams, cutting down 2 soldiers instantly. Another drone launched micro-explosives, blasting apart enemy cover. Elias surged back to his feet. Using the chaos, he grabbed a fallen alien rifle and fired. Precise bursts to the exposed weak spots in enemy armor. Within seconds, the room was silent again. Smoke and sparks drifted through the air. Elias exhaled slowly, steadying himself. His comm beeped. Operative. This is Revenant. Extraction ready. Shuttle inbound to Point Kappa 4. Enemy cruisers detected inbound. Recommend immediate departure. Elias wiped blood from his chin and nodded. I'm on my way. He moved quickly out of the control room, deeper into the station's dark corridors. The mission was not over yet. He had the evidence. Now he just had to survive long enough to deliver it. The dark metal corridors of Argith Prime echoed with alarms and heavy footsteps. Red warning lights flashed on every wall. The air smelled of burnt circuits and smoke from distant explosions. Elias Varin sprinted down the narrow passageway, plasma blade in one hand and alien rifle in the other. His breath was steady, movements sharp and precise. He had been trained for moments like this. Behind him, angry roars echoed. Zrin and Vale Corps soldiers chased him, dozens now, moving fast through the damaged station. More troops had arrived after the Revenant's first strike. Elias tapped his wrist console. Revenant, status of extraction shuttle. The AI replied calmly. Shuttle is on approach. 3 minutes to Point Kappa 4. Enemy cruisers are entering orbit. Window for escape is narrow. Elias's jaw tightened. 3 minutes could feel like a lifetime when death was this close. He slid to a stop at a junction and quickly glanced at the map on his wrist. The fastest route to the extraction point passed through Bay Sigma, an old cargo bay. It would be open space, dangerous, but the only choice. He turned sharply and ran toward the bay. As he reached the massive cargo doors, they began to slide open slowly. His boots hit the wide metal floor of Bay Sigma. The room was huge, hundreds of meters wide, filled with shipping containers, broken machinery, and empty loading cranes. Across the bay, the outer wall had cracked from earlier strikes. A cold wind rushed through, pulling thin streams of air into the blackness of space beyond. Elias didn't slow. From above, metallic clangs rang out. Heavy figures dropped from maintenance hatches onto the floor ahead of him. Velcor shadow guards, elite assassins, fast, silent, deadly. They spread out, mandibles twitching, thin blades shining under red lights. Their leader hissed, "End of the line, human." Elias stopped. His eyes darted between them. 5 guards, well-armed, fast. His mind moved faster. With one swift motion, he pulled a small sphere from his belt and rolled it across the floor. The alien's eyes tracked it, confused. A sharp crack sounded. Gravity mine. A deep hum filled the air as the device exploded with invisible force. The guards were slammed flat against the floor, pinned hard by the sudden pull. Elias ran straight through them, leaping over the struggling figures. As he passed, he fired precise shots from the alien rifle into their exposed joints, finishing them cleanly. He didn't stop moving. A moment later, his comm beeped. Operative Varen, extraction shuttle inbound. Visual contact in 40 seconds. He reached the far end of the cargo bay. Massive blast doors blocked his path. His fingers flew over the control panel, locked. Behind him, he heard the thunder of boots. More soldiers closing in. No time for hacking. Elias dropped the rifle, pulled 2 thin explosive charges from his belt, and slapped them on the hinges. He stepped back and detonated. With a heavy groan and a shower of sparks, the doors fell inward. Bright lights from the outside landing pads shone through the smoke. Above, the Revenant's shuttle descended. Sleek and black, engines burning blue, it hovered just above the deck. Its side ramp dropped. Elias bolted forward. From the side corridors, alien soldiers poured out. Plasma shots zipped past his head, burning holes in the floor. He zigzagged, rolling under a burst, leaping over broken crates. His armor weave absorbed 2 glancing shots. Pain shot through his ribs, but he kept running. A Zrin officer charged him head-on, swinging a heavy plasma axe. Elias ducked, grabbed the alien's wrist, and used its momentum to flip the massive creature over his shoulder. The alien crashed hard, sliding across the deck. Elias didn't look back. The shuttle ramp was just ahead. Human Marines in dark armor leaned out, covering him with precision rifle fire. Aliens dropped under their shots. Operative. Move, move. One Marine shouted. Elias jumped onto the ramp. Strong hands pulled him inside. Go, he ordered. The shuttle engines roared. The craft lifted sharply, pulling away from the landing pad just as enemy reinforcements stormed in below, firing wildly. From the open side door, Elias watched Argith Prime shrink behind them. The station burned in several places. Small alien fighters launched after the shuttle. Fighters incoming. A Marine called from the cockpit. Elias tapped his comm. Revenant, we are clear. Cover fire now. High above, the Revenant's main cannons turned. Bright lances of energy shot down. The stars stretched into thin white lines as the Revenant's shuttle jumped to hyperspace. The engines hummed gently, wrapping the passengers in a smooth cocoon of motion. Elias Varen sat quietly in the corner of the shuttle cabin, his eyes locked on the glowing screen of his wrist console. Lines of alien code scrolled fast. The stolen files from Argith Prime. Proof of treachery. Plans of secret fleets. Signed orders to massacre human colonies. The Marine commander across from him leaned forward. Operative, we're 5 hours from Earth. Intel Command is standing by. They want you in person. Elias nodded slowly. They'll get what they need. 5 hours later, Earth orbit. The Revenant dropped out of hyperspace near Terra Prime, the largest orbital station above Earth. Sleek human warships patrolled the space lanes. The blue marble of Earth spun peacefully below, clouds glowing under the sunlight. Elias stepped off the shuttle into the bright steel halls of Terra Prime's command sector. His uniform was freshly cleaned, the plasma blade hidden again beneath his jacket. His posture was calm, but every step carried the sharpness of a man ready for war. 2 black armored guards escorted him through the wide corridors to a secure briefing room. Inside sat Admiral Leona Strass, Supreme Commander of Earth's Defense Fleet. Her short silver hair and sharp gray eyes gave nothing away. Around the table sat top military officers and senior diplomats, serious faces, tight lips. Elias stood straight as the Admiral looked up. Operative Varen. Report. He tapped his wrist console and projected holograms into the air. Alien war orders, fleet movements, holo-recordings of Xerak's confession, footage of Kothair's plans to destroy human colonies, all floated before them in sharp detail. The room fell silent. Elias's voice was calm and precise. The Zrin Empire and Vale Core Dominion broke the Treaty of Orion 6 months ago. Their attack on New Carthage was planned and ordered from the highest levels. Their fleets are already moving to strike 3 more human colonies. He paused, locking eyes with the Admiral. They were working together to push humanity out of the Outer Rim, permanently. Admiral Strass leaned forward, her fingers steepled under her chin. You confirmed all of this alone. I did. His voice did not waver. One diplomat shook his head slowly, disbelief on his face. We sent you as a diplomat. And you waged war. Elias's eyes narrowed just slightly. I completed the mission Earth gave me, and I did what was necessary to survive. The Admiral's lips pressed into a thin line, but she gave a small nod of respect. Well done, operative. She stood and turned toward the large holomap of the galaxy on the far wall. Red enemy fleet markers blinked ominously near human space. War is coming, she said quietly. With this evidence, the Galactic Council can't ignore the truth anymore. Elias stepped beside her, his tone colder now. We don't have time to wait for council debates. The Zrin and Vale Core will strike soon. Earth needs to move first. Strass looked at him, a thin smile on her lips. You want to take the fight to them? Yes, Elias said flatly. If we strike fast, we can cripple their fleets before they fully mobilize. And I know where to hit them. He tapped the console again. New maps appeared. Alien shipyards, command centers, hidden supply depots. I copied all of this from their military databases. We can cut their war machine apart before it reaches us. The room buzzed with murmurs. Officers exchanged quick glances. For the first time in decades, Earth had the upper hand. The Admiral turned to her staff. Prepare Defense Command for full mobilization. Inform all Outer Rim colonies to go on high alert, and activate Black Shield Protocol. All Ghost operatives to mission status. Her officers saluted sharply and rushed out. Elias looked out the wide window at Earth below. His reflection stared back at him. Calm, focused, unbreakable. He had delivered the proof. Now, war was coming, and he knew it would not be clean. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for too long. He turned back to Admiral Strass. Ma'am, if I have permission, I want to lead the first strike. She studied him for a long moment, then gave a slow nod. Permission granted, Operative Varen. Choose your target. Gather your team. You start in 12 hours. Elias's jaw tightened just slightly, determination flashing in his eyes. He had one chance to hit them hard, and he wouldn't miss. As he walked out of the room, the war drums of Earth began to beat for the first time in a century. 12 hours later, deep inside Earth's most secret military hangar, Black Shield Squadron assembled. Elias Varen stood at the head of a long metal briefing table. Around him stood 6 elite operatives, veterans from Earth's shadow wars. Each wore dark adaptive armor, faces calm and focused. They were handpicked for one reason: to strike deep into enemy space, fast and silent. A large hologram of the galaxy floated above the table. Elias pointed at a glowing red system near the outer rim. This is Zarnak Shipyard Delta, one of the primary construction yards for Zrin heavy cruisers. If we take it out, their advance fleet will lose half its ships before they're even finished. The team leaned in, eyes sharp. Elias's voice was steady and commanding. Intel shows minimal defense right now. Their fleets are still scattered after Argith Prime, but we have a small window, 4 days before reinforcements arrive. We jump in, strike fast, destroy the shipyard, and disappear before they know what hit them. A tall operative named Kellen nodded. His voice was gravelly. What's the plan for insertion? Elias tapped the map. We'll use stealth dropships from the Revenant. No large fleet, just us. We land here, power core control. Plant charges. Meanwhile, secondary team disables defense cannons and jamming fields. Once the core blows, we exfiltrate straight to orbit. Revenant pulls us out under cloak. Another operative, Celine smirked slightly. Just another suicide mission then. Elias's lips twitched in the smallest hint of a smile. Only if we're slow. The room fell quiet for a long second. Every operative gave a sharp nod. No one hesitated. 3 days later, Zarnak system. The Revenant slid through space like a ghost. Its black hull shimmered under the light of a dying red star. Inside the hangar bay, Elias and his squad checked their weapons in silence. Plasma carbines, EMP charges, cutting blades, all prepared and locked down. The ship's AI voice echoed calmly. Dropships ready. Stealth fields optimal. Insertion in T-2 minutes. Elias secured his helmet and turned to his team. Remember, fast, clean, no mistakes. Once the core blows, we have 5 minutes before the whole yard collapses. Stick to the plan. They all nodded. The dropship ramp opened with a hiss. Cold starlight spilled in. Elias led the way, stepping into the small craft. His team filed in after him. As the ramp sealed, the engines purred quietly, and the dropship slipped away from the Revenant. Through the small window, the massive Zarnak shipyard came into view. It was a gigantic metal ring orbiting a dead rock planet. Half-built warships floated inside its docking arms. Thousands of lights twinkled across the structure. Alien cargo ships and drones moved between scaffolding. Elias's voice was calm in the comm. Final check. Weapons hot. Stealth active. We go in dark. The dropship dove low, slipping through blind spots in the shipyard sensor nets. It approached a large maintenance port, just as planned. With a soft thud, the craft docked. The ramp dropped silently. Elias was first out, rifle raised. His boots touched the cold metal of the station's underbelly. They moved fast. Through dark service tunnels, past alien maintenance drones that never saw them. Their suits absorbed sound. Their visors marked enemy patrols ahead before anyone noticed. At the central core chamber, Elias held up a fist. Halt. Ahead, a dozen Zrin engineers and guards worked near the massive glowing power core. The core pulsed with bright blue light, feeding energy into the shipyard's shipbuilding arms. Elias signaled with 2 fingers. Celine and Kellen peeled off to flank the room. Seconds later, Elias flicked his wrist. Flash darts hissed silently into the chamber, tiny projectiles that exploded into blinding white bursts. The aliens stumbled, disoriented. Elias charged forward. His squad followed, firing suppressed plasma bolts. Zrin guards dropped fast. One alien reached for a comm panel, but Celine cut him down with a clean headshot. In less than 20 seconds, the room fell silent. Elias wasted no time. He moved to the core control panel and began planting charges around the main conduits. Kellen covered the door, watching for reinforcements. We've got 3 minutes before patrols notice comm silence, he warned. Elias locked the final charge and nodded. Core is rigged. Let's move. As they exited, Celine activated a small jammer to block enemy sensors briefly. They raced through the dim corridors toward their extraction point. But just as they neared the outer docking bay, Elias's visor flashed red. Multiple hostiles detected. From the far corridor, Zrin soldiers poured in. Heavier units this time. Their armor glowed red, plasma cannons crackling. Elias didn't hesitate. Ambush line. Hold them for 60 seconds. His squad snapped into position behind cover. Plasma fire lit the dark hall as both sides exchanged shots. Celine's voice crackled in the comm. Charges detonate in 90 seconds. Elias fired precisely, dropping a soldier aiming for Kellen. More aliens pushed forward. He gritted his teeth and tapped his wrist console. Revenant. Exfil point compromised. We need emergency extraction coordinates. Uploading now. Confirmed, operative. Dropship redirecting. ETA, 70 seconds. Elias looked back at his squad, calm, unbroken under fire. They just had to hold a little longer. He leveled his rifle again and growled quietly. not one step back. Behind him, the shipyard's power core began to glow brighter, unstable, overloading. The explosion was coming. And so was humanity's first real strike in this war. The floor of the Zarnak shipyard shook under Elias Varen's boots. Deep inside the station, the power core's bright blue glow had turned white-hot. Thin cracks of light spidered along the walls. The structure was seconds away from collapse. In front of Elias, his squad fought hard behind crates and bulkheads. Zrin soldiers pushed forward, plasma cannons firing bursts of green energy. The air sizzled with heat. Explosions echoed through the steel corridors. Kellen dropped an alien with a sharp burst from his rifle and ducked behind cover. His voice came sharp over the comm. "Operative, we're out of time." Elias's jaw tightened. His visor blinked. "Dropship ETA, 20 seconds." He stepped from cover just long enough to throw an EMP grenade into the enemy squad. The device cracked loudly and exploded in a wave of blue energy. Alien weapons sparked and went dead. Soldiers stumbled in confusion. Elias spun back, shouting, "Move! Extraction point now!" His squad sprinted behind him, boots hammering the metal floor. They burst into a wide-open bay where the dropship roared down from above. Its black hull shimmered as it decloaked, ramp already dropping. The pilot's voice came sharp in the comm. "Go, go. Core is critical. This whole place will blow in under a minute." Elias reached the ramp first. He turned and covered his team as Celine, Kellen, and the rest sprinted on board. Behind them, more Zrin troops spilled into the bay. Too many. Elias fired one last burst, dropping the lead alien. Then he jumped onto the ramp. "Lift us out," he barked. The dropship engines roared. The craft shot upward, away from the collapsing shipyard. Below them, massive explosions tore through the steel rings. Fire and debris burst into space as the entire station cracked apart.